All right, so here we are again. Let me hide this stuff. We have made this drum beat so far. We have the bass on one in the first measure and again in the third measure, and then the snare on beat one in the second measure and the fourth measure, okay? And that's what it sounds like so far, okay? We're also gonna add hi-hats. That would be this here, right here, okay? Closed hi-hat, okay? So these would be the red. We're just gonna do this on every other beat. So we have on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. All right, so now we're really cooking here. We're really getting somewhere. So again, you have your bass drum, your snare drum, and your hi-hats, okay? Let us, we're gonna eventually make another beat to offset this great example, but let's add it to our project first, okay? So first things first, you wanna make sure that your playhead is right at the beginning. See that? Make sure that your playhead is right at the beginning. That'll make this process a lot easier. Once your playhead is at the beginning, we're gonna click Add A. Boop. But wait a second, that's not that long. And then it stops. In order to have the drums playing throughout the song, okay, we need to have many more of these back to back. So we're gonna make sure that our playhead is right at the end. Now, by dragging it, it's almost impossible. So I'm gonna use the arrows on my keyboard to make sure that it jumps to where I want it to jump, okay? So if I try to drag it to the right spot, it's just not gonna go there. So use the arrows on your keyboard. You want it to be right at the end, right there, right there, right there, okay? The reason is because you wanna add another one. I clicked Add A again, and if it wasn't, you do not want a space like this. Yeah, that's weird. You don't want a space like that. So they should be right next to each other, okay? You also don't want them to overlap. See? You don't want them to overlap, okay? I'm using Control Z here as my best friend. So let's add 4 of these in a row. Use my arrow, add A, arrow. Again, I'm using the arrow on my keyboard. Add A. So this is what we have now. A nice basic beat. Okay. Now, after 4 of them, we're going to add our pattern B for one of these groupings. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 A's. We're going to add 1 B. But let's design B first. So over here on the right-hand side, I click on pattern B. Obviously, we've been working in pattern A up to this point. I click on pattern B. Let's get rid of all of these again. Click, 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 click. Okay. We're going to start by doing the same bass and snare, okay? Except we're going to add another bass in our 4th measure, right? Okay, our second dark gray, our 4th measure on beat 1, 2, 3. So we're in our 4th measure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is our 4th measure here. And I'm going to add a bass drum on beat 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay? Let's hear how that sounds. Okay. Let us do that again in measure 2. We're going to add another bass drum on beat 3 in measure 2, okay? And let's add our hi-hats again too. Except on this one, we're going to do all 4 in the 4th measure, okay? Okay, now let's add B. All right, move on to the next video so we can hear how what this sounds like all together.